Namaste Yogis, this is Stephen from YogaWorks. Welcome to your practice. What we're going to do in the next half hour or so is a feel-good shoulder flow. You know the feeling, you've been sitting in one pose for way too long, you forgot to get up and do any movement or stretches, or you've been driving your car forever and those shoulders are just under your ears. They're like miles high and seem to weigh 1 ton, and your whole upper back and chest seems to have cemented together. This is for you. Or in an alternative case, maybe you've been doing a lot of gymming, weightlifting or hard work which require manual labor, and those shoulders feel a little bit overused. In both cases, this class is going to be good because we're going to stay right in the middle. We're not going to go extremely hard and challenging, and we're not going to be completely passive and offline either. So adopt this mindset during this whole class to move in an active way, but not with a high level of intensity. Good. Just to start, lift your left arm high, drop the hand behind the back of the head, and then reach right arm to the right. Turn the palm back and reach the hand back. Now, for this one, don't hold anything. You can even make fists and just let the hands rest wherever they end up. And I keep the fists and circle the arms around, so to the other direction. So now the right arm is up, or whichever side you haven't done yet. And then just alternate this a couple of times. In the beginning, you might feel really stiff and like there's not a lot of space to move, but hopefully we'll change that a little bit in this class. And remember, this whole yoga practice, we're just sort of chipping away at this mobility and some of these poses and our ability to stay calm under a challenge or to take a little bit better care of ourselves. So all of this is all part of that same process. We don't need to rush. And then finish with one more round on each side. And then come into cactus arms. Just spread the fingers wide, align your elbows around shoulder height. Good. And then come into eagle arms at the right elbow on top of the left. You can bring the hands together if that works for your body. And then round your back, lower the elbows down and look down. And then lift the elbows and look up. And you'll probably go into a little bit of a back bend in the spine. That's fine. Allow that to happen. And then move between these two, a little bit of rounding, a little bit of lifting. And just let these continuous movements be like a medicine for your shoulders, your upper back, and your entire nervous system. And it helps, especially if the breath is also smooth and soft, and you can allow your mind to start to calm down a little bit. Open the arms, cactus arms, and then the other elbow on top, and eagle arms lifting and lowering. So we're going to choose some simple repetitive movements that just feel really good in the body, or at least when I do them. I hope it's the same for you. You can squeeze those forearms a little bit together. Good. And then release it. Clasp your hands behind the lower back. First, move the shoulders back so the chest is nice and open, and then start to straighten a little bit more if you still have space. Good. Release the hands. Come into cat pose. So not cat and cow where we alternate between the two, but just cat, which is the rounded back one, the spinal flexion one. I'm tucking the tailbone under, I'm rounding the back as much as I can. And then with the hands, this is what we're mainly interested in because it's going to affect the shoulders. Push down and let it round your upper back. Let the shoulder blades slide apart. So that's called protraction of your shoulders or your shoulder blades. And then push the hands down a little bit and create the action of sliding the hands apart without actually moving them. And that's going to enhance that protraction, that space in the upper back a tiny bit more. Nice. And then try to keep the hands like this. I need to move a little bit forward because of space issues. Try to keep the hands on the shoulders like this, protraction, tuck the toes under and push back into downward facing dog. So now your arms go over the head, but you want to keep that same feeling in the upper back of a little bit of rounding, and you're reaching your arms out like you're trying to telescope them down into the mat. At the same time, lift your hips up and back away from the hands which are pushing down. Good, and then step your right foot forward, lower the left knee down. We're going to come into eagle arms with the left elbow on top of the right. Nice. And then do the same. Inhale, lift the arms, the elbows, and exhale to round and look down. Inhale to lift. Just link the breath to these simple movements. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Exhale to lower. Good. Clasp the hands behind the lower back. Pull the shoulders back. Broaden the chest and the heart area. If you got more space, you can sink a little bit forward and down into the lunge. But the hips are not our main concern, so just make sure you're comfortable and stable there. Good. And then just briefly, easy twist the left hand down, lift the right arm up, and then wrap the right arm around the lower back. Good. Downward facing dog. Again, telescope the arms, push the hands down, get some of that broadness in the upper back, the protraction, and also elevate the shoulders, which means the shoulders shrug up to the ears a little bit. Good, and then left foot forward, right knee to the mat. Come up in a simple low lunge, and let's go right elbow on top of left. Eagle arms, Garudasana. And then simple movement, inhale to look up, exhale to round forward and down. Let's do that a few times, maybe 3-4 rounds. Nice slow breaths. And we're just trying to get some movement into some spaces that habitually can become a little bit stuck. Last one. And then clasp hands behind lower back. Nice. Shoulders back, heart forward. Maybe lunge into the hips if you have a bit more space. And then that's easy twist the right hand down, left arm up. You could stay here, or if it feels good, just wrap the arm around the lower back there. Good. Come back to that cat pose with the rounded back, tailbone under, chin to chest, shoulder blades sliding apart. And as we've done before, push the hands down and traction them a little bit away from each other. This is going to increase the space in the upper back again. Good. Take your right arm threaded under the left and just take a moment into this twist. It's a really nice upper back twist, the thoracic spine. And then come back up. Left arm threaded under the right. With that right hand, I like to keep it there and press down a little bit. Nice. Come back up. Now keep your hips above your knees and take your arms or your hands a giant step forward. Start to lower your head and the chest down towards the mat. Take a moment here. This is called Anahatasana, the heart opening pose, or sometimes called puppy pose. Keep the hands a little bit active, so I'm pressing them down. Lift your forearms off the mat, and then the arms are the same as in down dogs. You want to lift them over the head, and then protract the shoulder blades. Can you remember how that felt in that cat pose, where there's a nice broadness in the upper back? I want to recreate the same here. Good. And then come back out, downward facing dog, step back. Slowly walk to the front of your mat, bend the knees a little bit, and then clasp your hands behind the lower back. Just let them lift away, up and away. And then the shoulders naturally, they want to drop down with gravity, but try to lift them down the back a bit, so up against the gravity. Let the head just be free, the neck is long, and the head should feel quite loose, like a coconut on the palms behind me here. Good, keep the hands clasped and slowly come up to standing. Now bring both hands or the fist to the right waist. Move the elbows back, pull the shoulders a little bit back. Nice. So now we've pinned the shoulders down, especially that right shoulder. Start to lean your head to the right. I mean, the left shoulder's pinned down, you're leaning your head to the right. Sometimes I confuse myself when I forget if I'm mirroring you or not, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. So your head leans to the same side as your fists in the waist, basically. Good. And then come back to center. Move your fists to the other side. So for me, it's my left waist. I haven't done yet. The right shoulder's pinned down, so my head goes to the left. Try to go straight to the side. It's a strict side bend. And do your best to keep the shoulders down and the elbows back. Keep the hands clasped. Start to forward fold. Take the hands over the head again. If it feels better to bend the knees a little bit, by all means do that. We don't want to overexert the hamstrings here. Good. Release the hands and bend the knees a bit. Let's slowly roll up into standing mountain pose. Nice. Couple of sun salutations just to lubricate the shoulder joints a little bit more. Inhale, lift to the top. Exhale, forward fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the chest forward. Exhale, step your right foot back, right knee to the mat. Lift the arms, one breath to the top. Inhale. And then exhale. For this down dog, turn your hands a bit more out than usual. I quite like the index finger facing forward, or even you could turn out a little bit more if that feels good. So try that and see if that gives you a little bit more space in the shoulder joint to lift the arms over the head. Take a breath here. And then exhale, step right foot forward, left knee to the mat. Lift your arms, one breath, low lunge. Exhale, step to the front, forward fold. Inhale to rise, just feel the movement in your shoulders. And exhale, hands to heart. Second side, here we go, inhale. Exhale, slow exhale to the bottom. Inhale, halfway lift. Left foot back this time, lower your knee to the mat. Inhale, here go the arms. And exhale, maybe turn the hands out a little bit more again if that feels good, if that felt good last time. Downward facing dog. It's good to try out different options because who knows, maybe you're onto something that you didn't know existed before. That's why I always like to offer slightly different options. It's like an experiment, a safe experiment on your mat for your inner science, you could say. Left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge, arms up. Exhale, step to the front and fold. Inhale, going all the way up, reach through the arms. Lift the arms out of the socket, up, up, up. And then exhale, hands to heart. Good, one more round. And then we'll do some standing poses. Inhale, rise. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, the right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, just take one breath to the top. And exhale, back to that down dog. If you like the turnout hands, you can continue with that. And inhale into a plank pose. Exhale, slowly lower down for Sphinx. So come onto your elbows and stack the elbows and the shoulders over the elbows. With your hands you can do whatever you like. And then move the shoulders back and down the back. It's a little bit of retraction, shoulder blades moving together, and a little bit of depression, shoulder blades moving down the back. Good. And then come into dolphin pose. Just lift the hips, walk the toes a little bit closer, press your hands down on the mat, and lift the hips up and back. Such a nice shoulder strengthener and stabilizer here. Good. Walk the feet back out, back to the Sphinx, and then just make your way into down dog. Good. Step right foot forward, left knee to the mat. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step to the front, hang the head down, just relax. You can roll up or sweep the arms to the top, palms to the heart. Second side, here we go. Just follow the breath. Try to drop into this simple rhythm. Hopefully you know these movements so that they don't require too much brain processing power. Flat back inhale, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale, low lunge, downward facing dog. I quite like the turnout hands, so I'm going to keep doing that. Inhale to plank pose, slowly lower for Sphinx. Nice. Keep your elbows under the shoulders. Take a moment. Shoulders, they tend to bunch forward and also creep up to the ears. We're going to do the opposite. Draw the shoulders down and a little bit back, broaden the chest. It also helps to press the elbows down and pull them a little bit towards you. Good. Brief dolphin pose. Walk the toes closer, lift your hips high and press the thigh bones back. Keep the breath soft, especially when there's something a bit more challenging, like maybe this one. And then walk back out, lower the hips, one breath in Sphinx. And then back to the down dog. Inhale here. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, rise, your arms lift to the top. Exhale, step to the front of the mat. Flat back, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Nice. If you're rolling up, keep the knees a little bit bent. It can feel good to get some spinal movements in. They link well with the shoulder. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands to heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath or two. Nice. Then step the feet wide. Turn the right toes out and then just adjust the feet so that your heels are in the same line. Warrior two legs and then start to bend your right knee. Reach the arms forward and back. You are in warrior two. And like we've been doing before, eagle arms, right elbow under the left. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, round a little bit. You don't need to go all the way down, just keep it in the upper part of the spine. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, round a little bit. Inhale, one more like this. Exhale. Nice, and clasp the hands. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale this time, if you want, you can lean or fold all the way down towards the mat. You can go a little bit more in the middle between the legs, or if that feels too restricted, go a bit more to your right foot, and you'll find it gives you a bit more space. Lift the arms over the head. Good. Slowly lift back up. Straighten the front leg. Nice. Bring the hands to that waist again like we've done before. Move the elbows back. We're going to do a version of triangle with a nice neck and shoulder stretch. So keep the hands here, shoulders back, elbows back. Start to hinge over that front leg. You probably won't go as far as normal because of this shoulder and bind setup. but just make peace with that. And then just let the head drop, and you get a really nice stretch from that left shoulder to the left ear. Let the weight of the head just hang to the side. Don't worry too much about the alignment or how far you are in this pose. We're more interested in feel good shoulders today. Good. Lift back up. Nice. I'm going to turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out. Warrior 2. You might need to shuffle the feet around a bit just to get the side aligned. Good bend in the front knee, and just pause for a moment. And then left elbow under the right. Eagle arms. 3 times. Inhale. Lift. Exhale. Round. You don't need to go all the way down. You can, of course. Inhale. Little back bend. We're loosening up the upper part of the spine and the shoulders. Exhale. Round a bit forward. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Good. Clasp the hands. Lift the heart. Big breath in. Exhale. Start to fold. You can go down the middle or a bit more to your front leg. It's my preference to have a bit more space there, and then lift the hands over the head until they stop. Keep the feet really active, but see if you can relax the upper body as best as you can. Good. Slowly lift back up. Keep the hands clasped and straighten the front leg. Now bring the hands to the waist, to the left side of the waist, so close to the front leg. Elbows back. We're going to hinge over the front leg, so the left hip deepens. The right hip's going to lift relative to the left. And then just hang the head down. The bind is helping to keep that right shoulder down and back. And then the weight of the head is just perfect to lengthen the side of the neck there. Couple of breaths. Might take you a few breaths to just sort of accept the reality of this pose, that you can let go a little bit more. Good. And then slowly lift up. Nice. Come back to the center. We're going to do a quick version of half moon pose. I'm stepping in a little bit closer because of space issues here. I'm standing on the right leg. Right hand goes outside that right foot, and then my left leg, left arm can lift here. And then for today, if you want to bind, you can grab the left ankle or top of the foot and kick it back a bit into the hands. Couple of breaths here. And slowly release. Nice. We're going to turn to the other side. Left foot's going to be the standing leg. Your hand goes a little bit forward, a bit to the outside of the foot. I recommend right leg then goes up. Right arm can go up. You can just lift everything up and expand, or you can do the bound variation where you hold the foot, you kick it a little bit back. And often when we do a balancing pose like this, the breath is the first thing to go out the window. So see if you can counter that with your persistent effort. Good. Release that leg. Slowly come up. Shake it out. Then come into wide legs again and lower the hands down. Nice. Walk the hands a little bit forward, almost like the upper body wants to do down dog and your lower body wants to stay in this wide-legged forward fold. Good. I'm walking the feet a little bit closer because with the right hand we're going to go to left ankle. So if you can't reach, walk a bit closer, that's fine. And then just pull a bit with that right arm. So from the right elbow, it might even bend. With the left hand, reach forward. You can go on fingertips or flatten the left palm, that's also fine. Nice stretch, especially if you round the back of it. You'll feel the inner border of your shoulder blades lengthen away from the midline. Kind of a hard area to get into. Good, and then right hand comes back. Left hand goes to right ankle or lower leg somewhere. Bend the left elbow a bit so you're pulling the chest through. And then instead of going to the right leg, lean a bit back. So it's almost like your torso is resisting that movement. Good, slowly release. Now go to your left leg and start to straighten the right leg. So this is Skandasana. If the left heel needs to lift for you to make this movement possible, that's totally fine. There's a couple of shoulder variations. You can just ground the hand, lift the right arm up, or you can do half bind with the right arm around your back, or left arm can go around this bent knee, and you might be able to do the full bind around the leg if that feels good. Otherwise, don't even worry about it. Good, and then sneak over to the other side. I'm lifting the right heel, but if you can do it with the heel down, that's also fine. I like to lift those left toes, but there's always lots of options here. Right hand down, left arm up, this is one option. Or the half bind, wrap around. Or full bind, sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. All depends a bit on your shoulders and the proportions and maybe the day or the activities you've had before. So just be happy you came to your practice and you're able to do most of these things. Good. Back to the center. Wide-legged forward fold. Nice. We'll do one more variation. Place the left hand under your face and then the right hand on the lower back to turn to the right. If it feels good, you can also reach right arm up and turn the chest to the right. Good. Come back to center. Right hand down, left hand lower back. Turn open to the left. Or release the left arm up. At the same time, I'm pressing the right hand down on the mat. Good. Slowly release. From here, just make your way down onto your back for bridge pose. We just do brief bridge and then a couple of minutes in Savasana. So come into robot arms, you could call this. So it's when you push the triceps down and your fingertips go up to your ceiling or the sky, wherever you find yourself. And then press the feet down, press the backs of the arms down. And before you lift the hips, lift the middle of your back. So if you were to slide your hand under between the hips and the shoulders, you could easily pass through that like a little tunnel. So just feel this version of bridge. We haven't lifted the hips yet, and we are not lifting the shoulders either. Nice. Keep pushing the triceps down, lift the rib cage off the mat as much as you can. Good, and keep that, but start to lift the hips. So we're bridging the hips up. Press the feet down, press the triceps down, and you can even walk the shoulder blades a little bit more underneath your back. With the pressure of your arms and your elbows, it's going to help to get that under you a little bit more. Good. And squeeze the glutes to help lift the hips. Take another breath. And slowly lower down. Take a moment. You can just stay where you are, constructive rest. This is a really nice resting pose. Let's do one more round, bridge pose. If you're really tired, exhausted, you can just stay here. Continue constructive rest. You can do the robot arms again if that feels good. Or for this last one, you can also clasp the hands underneath you. And again, it helps to sort of bunch the shoulders underneath you at the back. Lift the heart. Press down through whatever touches the mat. And lift everything else up. The glutes are going to do most of the work here. And you'll also feel the spinal muscles go into extension. Good. One more breath. Slowly release. Unwind. Just land here back to earth. Good, and then extend the legs out. I'm going to give a couple of instructions for your Savasana. The first one is to bend the knees a little bit, dig the heels down, lift the hips ever so slightly, and then tuck the tailbone under. Lengthen the tailbone towards your heels so that the lower back is a little bit longer, and then re-straighten the legs. You'll notice your heels a little bit further down the mat when you do that. You should feel a very mild stretch in the lower back. And then tuck the chin a little bit down and lengthen the back of the neck. So it's the same as sliding the back of the head up the mat a little bit more. So you should feel a nice length at the back of the neck. So we've lengthened the lower back that way, the neck and the head the other way. And now it's just the arms. So bend the elbows a bit and then lengthen the elbows away from your shoulders. So in the diagonal, a little bit down and away. And then let the arms land down. Feel a nice openness. The front of the chest, and the front of the shoulders. Feel the weight of the arms resting down and lengthening away from your body. Feel the shoulder blades resting onto your back. No more effort is required. Allow a few more slower breaths to move through this shape. If you have a little bit more time for your practice, it would be amazing if you could spend a few more minutes right here, not doing anything. If your yoga time is up, you've only had set aside 30 minutes, then this is your cue. Start to deepen the breath, wiggle your toes and fingers, bend the knees and roll over to your side, and push up to sitting. Yes. Bring the palms in front of the heart. Take a moment to sense how is your whole system feeling. And hopefully you feel good after this practice. Not just your shoulders, but the whole of you. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow to yourself on the mat. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste, everybody. It was a pleasure to move together as always, and have a good one.